The stars shimmered peacefully across the viewing panel as Captain Finn stared out at the endless void. His slender blue fingers tapped nervously on the control console of the luminary defense vessel, Tranquil Dawn. The ship's name felt increasingly ironic with each passing cycle. "Captain, another distress signal," reported Officer Loom, her crystalline eyes dimming with concern. "Third one this week." Finn's antennae drooped slightly. "Location?" "Trade Route 7, near the Valen Nebula." Loom's voice trembled. "It's the merchant ship Gentle Breeze." The message cut off mid-transmission. Finn closed his eyes briefly. The Gentle Breeze carried essential medical supplies for the outer colonies. Its loss would mean suffering for thousands. "Set course immediately, maximum speed." The bridge crew moved with practiced efficiency, but Finn noted the fear in their movements. The Luminari were not warriors. Their species had evolved on a world of abundance and peace, developing advanced technology through cooperation rather than conflict. For 10,000 years they had spread across the stars, building a confederation based on harmony and trade, until the pirates came. "Time to intercept?" Finn asked. 20 minutes, Captain," replied the navigator. "But the pirates will be long gone by then." Finn knew this too well. The pirates always struck fast, taking what they wanted and vanishing before luminary defense ships could arrive. In the last year alone, pirate attacks had increased by 300%. The luminary vessels were primarily designed for exploration and trade, not combat. As the Tranquil Dawn rushed toward the attack site, Finn received a priority message from the Council of Elders. The holographic image of Elder Vesta appeared before him, her ancient face lined with worry. "Captain Finn, upon completion of your rescue mission, you are ordered to return to the homeworld for an emergency council meeting," she said gravely. "The situation has become untenable." "Understood, Elder," Finn replied with a respectful bow. "Has the council reconsidered our defensive options?" Elder Vesta's expression darkened. "All options are now on the table, Captain, including the one we have long feared to consider." The transmission ended, leaving Finn with a hollow feeling in his chest. He knew exactly what option Vesta meant, the one that had been whispered about in closed council sessions, the option that sent shivers through the spines of the bravest luminari. Humans. The Deathworlders, the Tranquil Dawn arrived at the coordinates of the distress call to find only debris and the drifting hull of the Gentle Breeze. Finn ordered rescue teams to search for survivors while defensive screens remained at maximum power. "Life signs?" he asked hopefully. Officer Loom shook her head. "None, Captain. The crew compartments were breached and exposed to vacuum. It appears to have been deliberate." Finn's antennae flattened against his head in distress. This was not just theft, it was cruelty. The pirates could have simply taken the cargo and left the crew unharmed. Instead, they had chosen violence. "Recover the bodies for proper ceremonies," Finn ordered quietly. "And salvage the ship's logs if possible." Hours later, as the Tranquil Dawn headed toward the homeworld, Finn reviewed the recovered data. The Gentle Breeze had managed to capture images of the attacking vessel, a massive, jagged ship with weapon emplacements covering its hull. It didn't match any known pirate vessel in their database. "They're getting stronger," Finn murmured to himself. Organizing. The Grand Council chamber of Lumina Prime was filled to capacity when Finn arrived. Representatives from all 12 luminary colonies had gathered, their voices creating a nervous hum that echoed through the vaulted crystal. Sealing Elder Vesta called for silence, and the chamber grew still. "Friends, we face a threat unlike any in our recent history. The pirate attacks have evolved from simple robbery to systematic violence against our people." Holo displays activated, showing maps of recent attacks across luminary space. "In the usual past month alone, we have lost 17 vessels and 1 small colony outpost," continued Elder Vesta. 3,000 lives lost. Our defense fleet cannot match the pirates' combat capabilities or response times. A counselor from the outer colonies stood. "Then we must build better ships, arm our people." "With what weapons?" asked another. "With what warriors? We are traders and explorers, not soldiers." Our people have no stomach for violence. Then perhaps, said Elder Vesta carefully, we need those who do. The chamber erupted in murmurs and gasps. Elder Marin, the oldest member of the council, rose shakily to his feet. You speak of the Earthers, he said, his voice quavering. The Deathworlders. I do, confirmed Vesta. The chamber exploded in objections and fearful cries. Everyone knew of the humans, a species that had evolved on a planet so hostile that the Luminari classified it as a death world. High gravity, extreme weather, dangerous predators, and constant natural disasters had shaped humans into something the peaceful Luminari could hardly comprehend. They are violent by nature, shouted one counselor. They wage war against their own kind, cried another. Their entertainment glorifies bloodshed. Elder Vesta raised her hands for silence. All true. And yet when they joined the galactic community 50 years ago, they honored all treaties. They have confined their aggressive tendencies to their own territory, and they have developed formidable defense capabilities. Captain Finn stepped forward. With respect, elders, I have studied Earth history. While humans are capable of great violence, they are also fiercely protective of those they consider under their care. Their concept of the good fight might serve us well. The debate raged for hours. Meanwhile, an urgent message arrived from Colony Valen 3. Another pirate attack was underway. The colony's small defense force was overwhelmed, and civilian casualties were mounting. We have no choice, Elder Vesta said finally. We need help now, before more innocent lives are lost. The vote was close, but necessity overcame fear. The council appointed Ambassador Trell, known for his diplomatic skills, to journey to Earth and request assistance. As Trell prepared his diplomatic vessel for the journey to Earth, Captain Finn accompanied him to the spaceport. You should know, Ambassador, Finn said quietly. The Gentle Breeze attack was different. These pirates aren't just random bandits anymore. They're organized, methodical, almost like an army. Trell's antennae quivered anxiously. Do you believe the humans will help us? Will they not demand a high price? They will help, Finn said with certainty. Humans have a strange concept they call the underdog. They are drawn to protect those weaker than themselves. But yes, they will demand payment, likely in technology and trade rights. Is it worth the risk? Trell asked. Bringing such dangerous beings into our space? Finn looked at the latest casualty reports on his datapad. The question, Ambassador, is which is more dangerous, the humans or the pirates they will hunt? I believe we're about to find out. As Trell's ship rose into the violet skies of Lumina Prime, Finn watched with mixed emotions. The Luminari had always prided themselves on their peaceful civilization, on solving problems through dialogue and cooperation. Now they were inviting the most feared species in the sector to fight their battles. It felt like failure. Yet as another alert of pirate activity flashed on his communicator, Finn knew they had no choice. Sometimes survival required uncomfortable alliances, and perhaps the Deathworlders would prove to be more than the monsters of Luminari nightmares. Perhaps they would be saviors. Ambassador Trell had never felt so small. As his sleek diplomatic vessel approached Earth, the blue-green planet seemed deceptively peaceful from orbit. But Trell knew better. This was a death world, a planet so harsh that it produced species hardened by constant struggle. The humans had not only survived their brutal homeworld but had thrived, reaching for the stars despite their violent history. Ambassador, we're receiving docking instructions from United Earth Defense Command, his pilot announced. Trell's antennae twitched nervously. Proceed as directed. Remember, no sudden movements when we meet them. Humans can interpret that as threatening. The Luminari diplomatic team had spent the entire journey studying human behavior. Still, reading about humans and actually meeting them were very different things. The ship docked at the massive orbital station that served as Earth's military headquarters. Through the viewport, Trell could see humans moving with purpose. They looked so solid, dense with muscle, walking with confidence born of higher gravity. Even their smallest members appeared sturdy compared to the willowy Luminari. It's time, Trell said, straightening his ceremonial robes. May peace guide our words. Commander Jack Gray waited at the airlock, standing straight in his dark blue uniform. At 6 feet tall with broad shoulders and weathered skin, he knew he presented an imposing figure to most alien species. The Admiralty had specifically chosen him for this assignment because of his experience with non-human cultures, and because he knew when to keep his famous temper in check. Remember, these folks spook easily, Admiral Chen had told him. But they wouldn't be here if they weren't desperate. The airlock cycled open and Gray got his first look at the Luminari. They were just as the briefing described, tall, slender beings with blue-tinted skin that seemed to shimmer slightly under the lights. Their large eyes reflected light like cats, and delicate antennae moved subtly atop their heads. Gray stepped forward and placed his hand over his heart in the traditional Luminari greeting. Ambassador Trell, welcome to Earth Defense Station 1. I'm Commander Gray, assigned to hear your request. The lead Luminari mirrored the gesture, though Gray noticed his hand trembled slightly. Thank you for receiving us, Commander. The Luminari Confederacy comes seeking assistance in a matter of grave importance. Gray nodded. Let's talk somewhere more comfortable. The meeting room was deliberately designed to feel less military, potted plants, comfortable seating, and large windows showing Earth below. Still, Trell couldn't help noticing the muscular security personnel or the weapons they carried with casual familiarity. So, Commander Gray said after they were seated, tell me about these pirates. Trell activated a holographic display showing recent attack patterns. They began as scattered groups, but have organized into what appears to be a coordinated force. In the past 6 months, they've destroyed 17 ships and attacked 1 colony. Over 3,000 of my people have died. Gray studied the display with narrowed eyes. These attack patterns aren't random. They're systematically cutting off your supply lines to the outer colonies. He pointed to several locations. Classic isolation strategy before a major offensive. Trell's antennae drooped. We feared as much, but our people have little military expertise. The Luminary Defense Fleet consists mainly of retrofitted exploration vessels. We are not warriors. And we are, Gray said simply. It wasn't a boast, just a statement of fact. Yes, Trell agreed quietly. That is why we have come. Gray leaned back in his chair. What exactly are you asking for, Ambassador? We request human ships and personnel to help defend our trade routes and find the pirate base. In exchange, we offer access to our biotechnology and terraforming science, areas where we understand humans have interest. Gray's eyebrows rose. The Luminari were known for their advanced biological sciences. Such an exchange would be valuable indeed. I'll need to consult with my superiors, Gray said. But I can tell you this looks like more than simple piracy. Someone wants to destabilize your entire confederation. Trell's large eyes widened. You believe there is a larger purpose? Pirates want profit. These attacks? Gray gestured to the holo display. This is a military campaign disguised as piracy. 3 days later, Commander Gray stood on the bridge of the UES Interceptor, leading a task force of 5 specialized anti-piracy vessels toward Luminari space. Each ship carried a complement of Marines and tactical specialists, along with advanced weapon systems that made the Luminari deeply uncomfortable. Ambassador Trell had insisted on accompanying them, partly as a liaison, and partly, Gray suspected, to keep an eye on the dangerous humans they had invited into their territory. We're approaching the rendezvous point with the Luminari escort, reported Lieutenant Walsh from the tactical station. Good, Gray said. Ambassador, your Captain Finn will meet us here? Trell nodded. Yes. The tranquil dawn will guide us to Lumina Prime for final mission briefing. Gray had read Captain Finn's reports and was eager to meet him. Unlike most Luminari, Finn seemed to have a practical understanding of the threat they faced. The Luminari vessel appeared on sensors, elegant and streamlined, more like a work of art than a warship. The contrast with the angular, heavily armored human vessels couldn't have been more striking. Open a channel, Gray ordered. Captain Finn's slender face appeared on the main screen. Commander Gray, welcome to Luminari space. I wish our meeting came under better circumstances. As do I, Captain. We've reviewed your data on the pirate attacks. I have questions. Of course. But first, Ambassador Trell and the Council request your presence on Lumina Prime. The Council wishes to formally approve this alliance. Gray understood the subtext. The Luminary leadership wanted to assess these dangerous humans before fully committing. We'll follow your lead, Captain. The human delegation's arrival on Lumina Prime created a sensation. Most Luminari had never seen humans in person, and crowds gathered at a safe distance to watch the strange, stocky beings from Earth. Gray and his officers tried to move gently and speak softly, aware of the effect their presence had. Still, Gray noticed Luminari children being pulled away by nervous parents and conversations stopping when humans approached. They're terrified of us, Lieutenant Walsh whispered as they walked toward the council chamber. Wouldn't you be? Gray replied. Their strongest adults have the physical strength of human children. Their society hasn't seen war in thousands of years. We're basically walking natural disasters to them. The Grand Council chamber fell silent as the humans entered. Elder Vesta stepped forward, visibly controlling her instinctive fear. Commander, Grey Earth has answered our call for help. We are grateful, though this alliance does not come without concern. Gray bowed slightly. We understand your reservations, Elder. Humans have a complicated history, but today, we come as protectors, not conquerors. Pretty words, said Elder Marin, the oldest counselor. Yet you bring weapons of terrible power into our peaceful space. With respect, Gray replied, your space stopped being peaceful when the pirates arrived. We bring what is necessary to protect your people. Captain Finn stepped forward. The human vessels will patrol our main trade routes while we gather intelligence on the pirates' main base. Commander Gray has proposed a joint crew arrangement. Human, tactical personnel serving aboard our ships, and Luminary officers aboard theirs. This will facilitate knowledge transfer and cooperation. This announcement caused murmurs throughout the chamber. The idea of living and working alongside humans clearly disturbed many counselors. Is such close cooperation necessary? Asked one. Gray answered directly. Yes. My people need to understand your technology and communication systems. Your people need to learn our tactics and procedures. Without integration, we'll be fighting separate battles instead of one unified campaign. The debate continued for hours, but necessity eventually overcame fear. The joint operation was approved. 2 days later, as human security teams boarded the Tranquil Dawn, Captain Finn watched with fascination as the humans easily carried equipment that would require 3 Luminari to lift. Officer Loom approached, her crystalline eyes wide with concern. Captain, the humans. One of them consumed a beverage that contained enough caffeine to kill a Luminari. Are they truly safe to have aboard? Finn sighed. They are different, Loom. Their bodies process toxins differently. Their muscles developed. Under crushing gravity, they breathe nitrogen-oxygen mixtures that would be too thick for our lungs, but they have agreed to help us when no one else would. As if on cue, an alarm sounded. The sensor officer called out, Captain, unidentified, vessel at the edge of the system, matching engine signature to known pirate ships. Finn turned to see Commander Gray already moving toward the tactical station, his body language shifting subtly from diplomatic visitor to warrior. Looks like we'll find out if this alliance works sooner than expected, Gray said, studying the sensor readings. Your ship can intercept? Finn nodded, feeling a strange mix of fear and hope. Yes, the question is, can we fight? Gray's face hardened into something that made even Finn's blood run cold. That, Captain, is what we're here to teach you. The Tranquil Dawn changed course, accelerating toward the intruder. The first test of human and Luminary cooperation was about to begin. The bridge of the Tranquil Dawn hummed with tension as the sleek Luminary vessel closed in on the pirate scout ship. Captain Finn had never deliberately pursued a hostile vessel before. Defense had always meant evacuation and retreat for the Luminary, until now. Target is increasing speed, reported Officer Loom, her voice steady despite her obvious nervousness. They've detected us. Commander Gray stood with his feet planted firmly on the deck, watching the tactical display with narrowed eyes. The 3 human security officers he had brought to the bridge stood similarly steady, while the Luminari crew seemed to vibrate with anxiety. "They're running," Gray observed. "Standard procedure would be to let them go and track them back to their base." Finn's antennae twitched. But this isn't standard," Gray replied. "If we catch this scout, we send a message. Pirates expect Luminari ships to back off. Let's show them something new." Finn hesitated only briefly. "Pursuit course, maximum, speed. Ready defensive screens." The Tranquil Dawn surged forward, its advanced engines quickly closing the gap with the smaller pirate vessel. The humans had already helped modify the Luminari ship's energy distribution systems, allowing more power to be diverted to engines and defensive screens simultaneously. "They're charging weapons," Loom announced. Gray stepped closer to Finn. "Your ship has no offensive capabilities?" "Limited ones," Finn admitted. "Energy pulse disruptors designed to disable engines, not destroy ships." Gray nodded. "Perfect. Target their propulsion systems. If we can capture the ship intact, we'll have prisoners to question." The pirate vessel suddenly turned, firing a barrage of energy blasts at the Tranquil Dawn. The bridge shook as the shots impacted against their defensive screens. "Screens holding at 82%, reported a Luminari officer. "Return fire," Finn ordered. "Target their engines only." The Tranquil Dawn's disruptor fired, sending a pulse of energy toward the pirate ship. It struck true, causing the smaller vessel to list to one side as its engines flickered. "Good shot," Gray said. "Fire again before they can compensate." A second pulse hit the pirate ship and its engines went dark. The vessel drifted, powerless. "They're disabled," Finn announced. "Not quite." Believing it had worked, Gray was already moving. "We need to board them immediately before they can destroy evidence or activate self-destruct systems. My team is ready." Finn blinked in surprise. "Board them? While they still have weapons?" "It's that or let them go," Gray said simply. "Your choice, Captain." 20 minutes later, Gray led a boarding party consisting of 10 human Marines and 5 Luminari security officers toward the airlock. The humans wore lightweight combat armor and carried energy pulse rifles. The Luminari looked almost fragile. Beside them, with their slender forms and minimal protection, Ambassador Trell had insisted on joining them, despite Gray's objections. "I need to see," Trell had said firmly. "The Council will want a first-hand account from someone they trust." As they prepared to breach the pirate vessel, Gray addressed the mixed team. "Stay behind us. Watch your sectors. These pirates won't surrender easily. They'll fight dirty, so be prepared for anything." The Luminari officers looked pale, their antennae flat against their heads in obvious distress. Fighting went against their very nature. "Remember," Gray added more gently, "we're the good guys here. These pirates have killed thousands of innocent Luminari. We're making sure they don't kill any more." The airlock cycled open and the humans moved in with practiced efficiency. The interior of the pirate ship was dark, lit only by emergency lighting. The corridors were narrow and cluttered, perfect for ambushes. They encountered resistance almost immediately. Energy blasts erupted from a side passage, forcing the team to take cover. "Return fire," Gray ordered. The Marines responded instantly, laying down a pattern of suppressing fire that forced the pirates to retreat. Ambassador Trell watched in stunned silence as the humans moved with shocking speed and coordination. They communicated with hand signals and moved as a single unit, covering each other and advancing methodically through the hostile vessel. 2 more firefights broke out as they approached the bridge. In each case, the humans responded with overwhelming force, stunning or incapacitating the pirates without killing them. Finally, they reached the bridge. Gray signaled for silence, then nodded to a Marine who placed a small device on the door. There was a flash of light as the locking mechanism short-circuited and the door slid open. "Nobody move!" Gray shouted as they rushed onto the bridge. 4 pirates stood frozen, weapons half raised. Their captain, a tall figure in a black coat, slowly turned to face the boarding party. "Captain Dask," Gray announced, recognizing him. "From intelligence briefings. You're a long way from your usual hunting grounds." Dask's face, reptilian with scaled skin and yellow eyes, showed no fear. "Humans," he hissed. Since when do Earthers fight for the weak Luminari? Since now, Gray replied coldly. Weapons down. You're all under arrest for piracy, murder, and assorted other crimes. Dask laughed, a harsh sound. You think this changes anything? We are merely the eyes of the storm that's coming. He moved suddenly, reaching for something on his belt. Gray fired without hesitation, the energy pulse striking Dask in the shoulder and sending him crashing to the deck. Anyone else feeling heroic? Gray asked the remaining pirates, who quickly dropped their weapons. Back on the tranquil dawn, Ambassador Trell sat in the medical bay, still shaking slightly as a Luminari doctor examined him. Are you injured, Ambassador? Captain Finn asked with concern. No, not physically. Trell's voice was barely above a whisper. I have never... The humans, they moved into danger as if it were nothing. When the shooting started, they became different creatures entirely. Finn nodded. I watched from the security feeds. They are efficient. Efficient? Trell's antennae trembled. They are terrifying. One human marine was struck by an energy blast that would have killed a Luminari, instantly. He simply got back up and continued fighting. Commander Gray entered the medical bay, his armor now removed. There was a burn mark on his arm where a pirate's shot had grazed him, but he seemed unbothered by it. Captain, Ambassador, he greeted them. The prisoners are secure. We're going through their ship's data now. Already found something interesting. He activated a small holo projector, showing a star map with several locations marked. These appear to be rendezvous points for the pirate fleet. And this, he pointed to a larger marker, might be their main base. It's in an asteroid field at the edge of Luminari space. Finn studied the map. That's the Corax belt, nearly impenetrable to sensors. A perfect hiding place. Gray nodded. We should inform the Council immediately. This is bigger than a scout ship. Based on these communications, Logs Dask is part of a larger organization with dozens of ships. Did he say anything useful during questioning? Finn asked. Only threats and boasts, Gray replied. But he did mention someone called the Overseer. Seems to be their leader. Trell rose shakily to his feet. I must report to the Council. They need to know what we're truly facing, and what our human allies are capable of. As Trell left, Gray turned to Finn. Your crew performed well today. They're not trained for combat, but they followed orders and kept their composure. And your people? Finn asked. What did they think of their first taste of action alongside Luminari? Gray's expression softened slightly. They're impressed by your ship's technology and your crew's quick thinking. Different strengths, Captain. Your people build amazing ships and systems. My people know how to fight. Together we might actually win this. An alert sounded and Officer Loom's voice came over the comm. Captain, we're receiving multiple distress calls from Colony Valen 4. It's under attack by a large pirate force. Finn and Gray exchanged glances. The real test of their alliance was about to begin. Set course immediately, Finn ordered. Maximum speed. I'll ready my people, Gray said grimly. This won't be a small boarding action. This will be a battle. As the tranquil dawn changed course, Finn watched the human commander stride purposefully from the medical bay. For the first time, since the pirate attacks began, he felt something new alongside his fear. Hope. The tranquil dawn arrived at Colony Valen 4 too late to prevent the attack, but in time to save many lives. 3 pirate vessels had struck the small mining colony, stealing valuable minerals and equipment before the human Luminari force drove them off. The pirates fled rather than face the unexpected resistance, clearly surprised by the Luminari ship's new aggressive tactics. In the 2 weeks that followed, similar scenes played out across Luminari space. The combined human Luminari patrols intercepted pirate raids, captured several smaller vessels, and collected valuable intelligence. With each engagement, the Luminari crews grew more confident working alongside their human counterparts. Now, Commander Gray stood before the Luminari Council, presenting their findings. The evidence is clear, Gray explained, pointing to the holographic star map floating above the council chamber. The pirates are operating from this base in the Corax asteroid belt. Based on prisoner interrogations and ship data, we believe this is their main stronghold. Captain Finn stepped forward. The base appears to be built inside a large asteroid. Our sensors can't penetrate the dense mineral content, but we've tracked multiple ships entering this region. Elder Vesta leaned forward, her ancient eyes studying the map. How many pirate vessels do you estimate? At least 15 combat-capable ships, Gray answered. Possibly more. They've been consolidating their forces since our joint patrols began disrupting their raids. And your recommendation? Asked Elder Marin. Gray's expression hardened. A direct assault on their base. We hit them before they can organize a major offensive against your colonies. A murmur of concern spread through the council. Elder Vesta raised her hand for silence. Such an attack would require significant forces, she said, and would certainly result in casualties. Yes, Gray acknowledged bluntly, but the alternative is worse. These pirates, or whoever is really behind them, are targeting your supply lines and infrastructure systematically. They're weakening your confederacy for something bigger. Captain Finn spoke up. I support Commander Gray's assessment. For too long, we've been reactive, waiting for attacks and then responding. This is our chance to take the initiative. The council debated for hours. The Luminari were deeply uncomfortable with the concept of a preemptive strike. Their entire culture valued patience, negotiation, and peaceful resolution. Yet the evidence before them suggested that the pirates had no interest in negotiation. Finally, Elder Vesta called for a vote. By a narrow margin, the assault was approved. 3 days later, a fleet of 20 vessels gathered at the rendezvous point near the edge of the Corax belt. 5 were human combat ships that had arrived from Earth as reinforcements. The rest were Luminari vessels, hastily equipped with improved defensive systems and crewed by mixed human Luminari teams. On the bridge of the Tranquil Dawn, which would serve as the command vessel, Captain Finn and Commander Gray reviewed the final attack plan. Our advanced scouts confirm activity around the target asteroid, Finn reported. Several ships have been detected moving in and out of what appears to be a concealed hangar. Gray nodded, studying the tactical display. We'll approach in 3 groups. The main fleet will engage any ships that launch to defend the base. Meanwhile, a small infiltration team will approach from the blind side of the asteroid and enter through this maintenance airlock our scans detected. Ambassador Trell, who had insisted on joining the mission as an observer, looked concerned. And if there are more ships than we anticipated? Then we adapt, Gray said simply. No battle plan survives first contact with the enemy. Trell's antennae twitched nervously. That is not reassuring, Commander. Gray smiled slightly. It's not meant to be. It's meant to be realistic. War isn't clean or predictable. This isn't war, Trell protested. It's a police action against criminals. Tell that to the pirates, Gray replied. I guarantee they see it as war. Captain Finn intervened before the discussion could escalate. All ships report ready, Commander. We should begin. Gray nodded. Give the order, Captain. It's your operation. Finn appreciated the gesture. Though Gray had more combat experience, he had consistently respected the Luminary chain of command. All ships, move into formation, Finn ordered. Begin approach to target. The fleet moved forward, accelerating toward the asteroid belt. For several minutes, there was tense silence on the bridge as they waited for the pirates to detect their approach. Enemy vessels detected, announced Officer Loom suddenly. 7 ships launching from the asteroid base. Only 7? Gray frowned. That's fewer than expected. The tactical display showed the pirate vessels moving to intercept the Luminari fleet. They were maintaining a tight formation, unusual for pirates who typically favored chaotic attack patterns. Something's wrong, Gray muttered. This feels like multiple new contacts, Loom shouted. 15 additional vessels emerging from the belt. They were hiding behind other asteroids. Gray's expression darkened. It's a trap. They knew we were coming. The tactical display now showed the Luminari fleet caught between the 2 pirate groups. They were outnumbered and in danger of being surrounded. How could they know? Finn asked, stunned by the development. We'll figure that out later, Gray replied. Right now, we need to break out of this encirclement. Order the fleet to form a defensive sphere. All ships to concentrate fire on the smaller group blocking our retreat path. As Finn relayed the orders, a new communication came through. The main screen activated to show the face of Captain Dask, the pirate leader they had captured and subsequently transferred to a secure facility on Lumina Prime. Surprised, Commander Gray? Dask asked, his reptilian features twisted in a cruel smile. You should be more careful about who you trust in this sector. Dask, Gray growled. You should be in a cell. My associates arranged my release, Dask replied. And now I'll arrange your destruction. I've united the pirate factions of 3 sectors for this moment. Today, the Luminari learn what happens when they bring humans into our territory. The transmission cut off as the first shots were fired. Energy beams lanced between the opposing fleets as the battle began. They're targeting our engines, Finn observed as the tranquil dawn shook from a direct hit. They want to disable us, not destroy us. Gray moved to the tactical station. That confirms my suspicion. This isn't just piracy. It's a coordinated military operation disguised as piracy. Someone wants to capture Luminari ships and technology. Defensive screens at 70% and falling, reported a Luminari officer. 2 of our escort vessels are reporting critical damage. Gray made a quick decision. We need to change the plan. Captain, I'm taking a strike team to that asteroid base while you keep the fleet fighting. If we can capture their command center, we might be able to end this. Finn hesitated. That's extremely risky, Commander. How will you even reach the base with all these enemy ships between us? The infiltration shuttle is still in your launch bay, Gray said. It's designed for stealth. While the main battle distracts them, we slip through. And if you reach the base, Trell asked. What then? Gray's expression was grim. Then we find this overseer, and whoever else is really behind all this. One way or another, we end it. Finn studied the tactical display. Their position was deteriorating. Rapidly. The Luminari ships were fighting bravely, but they lacked the combat experience of the pirates. Without a dramatic change in the situation, the battle would be lost. Go, Finn decided. But take Officer Loom with you. She's our best technical specialist and can help you navigate Luminari systems if you find them in the base. Gray nodded. We'll launch in 5 minutes. Keep them busy, Captain. As Gray left the bridge, Ambassador Trell moved to Finn's side. Is this wise, Captain? Sending humans to assault the base alone? Finn watched another pirate vessel move into attack position on the tactical display. Ambassador, we brought the humans here because they know how to fight. Now it's time to let them do what they do best. The tranquil dawn shuddered under another impact as Finn ordered the fleet to regroup for a counterattack. Their situation was desperate, but not yet hopeless. And somewhere in the chaos of battle, a small shuttle carrying Commander Gray and his strike team slipped away toward the asteroid base, carrying with it the slim hope of victory. The small infiltration shuttle drifted silently through the asteroid field, its engines running at minimal power to avoid detection. Inside, Commander Gray and his strike team prepared for what might be a suicide mission. The team consisted of 8 human Marines and Officer Loom, who sat quietly watching the humans check their weapons and armor. How can you be so calm? Loom asked, her crystalline eyes reflecting the dim light of the shuttle's interior. We are flying into the heart of the enemy stronghold. Gray finished securing his combat harness before answering. This isn't our first impossible mission, Officer Loom. Humans specialize in those. Sergeant Beck, a compact woman with a scar running along her jaw, nodded. The commander pulled us out of worse on Tau Ceti or Fur. What happened there? Loom asked, curious despite her fear. Another time, Gray said, checking the tactical display. We're approaching the asteroid base. Everyone remember, our primary objective is to locate and capture the command center. Secondary objective is to identify this overseer Dask mentioned. The shuttle pilot's voice came over the comm. Commander, I've located the maintenance airlock. No signs of active security, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Take us in, Gray ordered. Stealth approach until the last possible moment. The shuttle glided toward the massive asteroid. What had appeared rough and natural from a distance now revealed subtle signs of modification. Recessed airlocks, disguised sensor arrays, and carefully concealed weapon emplacements. "This is no hastily assembled pirate hideout," Beck observed. "This took years to build," Gray agreed. "Whoever is behind this has been planning for a long time." The shuttle docked with a gentle thud against the maintenance airlock. For a tense moment, they waited to see if alarms would sound. When none came, Gray nodded to the breaching specialist. "Get us inside." The Marine worked quickly, bypassing the airlock's security systems. The door slid open silently, revealing a dimly lit maintenance tunnel. "Helmets on," Gray ordered. "Could be atmosphere traps or gas defenses." The strike team moved into the tunnel in practiced formation, weapons ready. Officer Loom stayed in the middle of the group, protected on all sides by the human Marines. Her technical skills would be essential once they reached more complex systems. "Picking up life signs ahead," reported a Marine, checking his scanner. "Varied species. Looks like a gathered crowd." Gray signaled for silence as they approached a junction in the tunnel. Voices could be heard from a large chamber beyond. "I'll check it out," Beck whispered, activating her helmet's enhanced vision mode and peering around the corner. She pulled back quickly. "It's some kind of assembly area. At least 50 pirates, various species. They appear to be watching something on a large display. Looks like the battle outside." Gray thought quickly. "We need a diversion. Beck, take 2 Marines and set charges on the power relays we passed. Set them for remote detonation. The rest of us will find another route to the command center." Beck nodded and selected 2 Marines, then disappeared back the way they had come. Gray turned to Loom. "Any idea where the command center would be in? An asteroid base like this?" Loom consulted her data pad. "Based on standard mining operations, the central control would be deep inside, protected by the most rock. Probably that way." She pointed down a side tunnel. The team moved carefully through the maze-like corridors of the base. Twice they had to hide as patrols passed. The base was clearly on high alert, with armed pirates moving purposefully through the corridors. "In position," Beck's voice came through the comm. "Charges ready." "Detonate on my mark," Gray replied as they reached a sealed door with security markings. "Loom, can you get us through?" The Luminary officer studied the control panel. "Yes, but it will trigger an alert unless I can bypass the secondary systems." "How long?" 3 minutes. Gray nodded. "Do it." "Beck, stand by." Loom worked quickly, her slender fingers moving with precision across the alien control panel. Sweat beaded on her blue skin as she concentrated. "Almost there," she whispered. "Just need to—" Alarms suddenly blared throughout the base. "That's not from us," Loom said, looking up in alarm. Gray's comm crackled. "Commander, we've been spotted. Engaging hostiles." The sounds of energy weapons could be heard through the comm. "Beck, detonate now," Gray ordered. "Loom, get that door open." The base shuddered as explosions rocked the power systems. The lights flickered and went out, replaced moments later by dim emergency lighting. "Got it?" Loom exclaimed as the door slid open. Gray led the team through into what appeared to be a monitoring station. Several pirates were scrambling to respond to the crisis, too surprised by the human intrusion to react immediately. "Weapons down," Gray shouted. "On the floor now." Most of the pirates complied, but one reached for an alarm panel. A Marine fired, a precision shot that dropped the pirate before he could activate it. "Secure the room," Gray ordered. "Loom, find us a path to the command center." The Luminary officer moved to a control console, quickly navigating through the system. "Commander, I've found it. 2 levels down, but there's something else. Strange energy readings coming from a chamber adjacent to the command center." "What kind of energy?" "I've never seen anything like it," Loom admitted, "but it's powerful." Gray's comm crackled again. "Commander, we're pinned down. Too many of them." Beck's voice was nearly drowned out by weapons fire. "Hold position, Beck. We're heading to the command center. Once we have control, we'll send help." "Understood, Will." The transmission cut off in static. Gray turned to his remaining Marines. "We continue the mission, for Beck and the others." They moved deeper into the base, encountering increasing resistance as they approached the command center. The pirates fought desperately, but the human Marines moved with a coordination and efficiency that overwhelmed them. In the tight corridors, the humans' strength and combat training gave them a decisive advantage. Finally, they reached the entrance to the command center. A heavily reinforced door blocked their path. "Breaching charge," Gray ordered. A Marine quickly placed an explosive device on the door's weak points. "Fire in the hole." The explosion echoed through the corridor as the door blew inward. Gray led the charge into the smoke-filled room beyond, expecting heavy resistance. Instead, they found a command center staffed by technicians who immediately surrendered. At the center of the room stood a tall, elegant figure who turned calmly to face the intruders. "Commander Gray, I presume," said the figure in a cultured voice. "I am the Overseer. I've been expecting you." Gray kept his weapon trained on the Overseer, taking in his appearance. He belonged to a species Gray had never seen before, tall and slender like the Luminari, but with metallic skin that seemed to shift colors in the light. "You have one chance," Gray said. "Order all pirate ships to stand down." The Overseer smiled. "You misunderstand the situation, Commander. This isn't a pirate operation, it's a military acquisition." "Explain," Gray demanded. "My employers are interested in Luminari biotechnology," the Overseer said smoothly. "The piracy was merely a cover, to weaken their defenses and test their capabilities. We didn't anticipate human involvement, I admit. An interesting complication." Loom gasped as she examined a nearby console. "Commander, the energy readings, they're coming from Luminari Biotech. They've been stealing our most advanced research," the Overseer shrugged. "Stealing is such an ugly word. We prefer strategic acquisition." Gray's eyes narrowed. "And who exactly are your employers?" "That would be telling," the Overseer replied. "But they're quite interested in your species now as well. Humans have proven more formidable than anticipated." A sudden explosion rocked the base, more powerful than the charges Beck had set. Warning lights flashed across the command consoles. "What was that?" Gray demanded. The Overseer looked genuinely alarmed for the first time. "That wasn't supposed to happen. Someone's activated the self-destruct sequence." "Commander," Loom called out. "It's Captain Finn. The Tranquil Dawn broke through the pirate lines. They've docked at the main hangar and are fighting their way in." Gray smiled grimly. "Looks like your plan is falling apart, Overseer." Another explosion shook the base, closer this time. "The self-destruct can't be stopped," the Overseer said, his composure cracking. "This entire asteroid will break apart in minutes." Gray made a quick decision. "Loom, download everything you can from their systems. We need to know who's behind this." He turned to his Marines. "Secure the prisoners. We're leaving." Loom worked frantically at the console. "Got it, including the identity of their employers. It's the Vex Consortium, a corporate alliance from the Outer Rim." Gray activated his comm. "Captain Finn, do you read me?" "Gray, we've secured the main hangar. Where are you?" Finn's voice came through clearly. "Command center, but not for long. This place is about to blow. We're heading your way with prisoners and intel." "Understood, we'll hold the hangar." As they rushed from the command center, dragging the Overseer with them, Gray's comm suddenly crackled with another voice. "Commander, it's Beck. We're trapped. Section 12B. Can't move." Gray hesitated only briefly. "Change of plan. Loom, lead 3 Marines and the prisoners to the hangar. The rest of you with me. We're getting Beck and her team." "There's no time," the Overseer protested as a Marine shoved him forward. "There's always time for our people," Gray replied coldly. "That's something your employers wouldn't understand." The rescue team raced through the disintegrating base, fighting their way through panicked pirates. They found Beck and her Marines, pinned down by collapsed debris, injured but alive. "Took you long enough," Beck grinned weakly as they pulled her free. "Complain later," Gray replied, helping her up. "This place is coming apart." Together they fought their way to the main hangar where Captain Finn and a mixed human luminary force had established a defensive perimeter. The Tranquil Dawn waited, with engines running while smaller shuttles evacuated prisoners and wounded. "The pirate fleet is in disarray," Finn reported as they boarded. "When we broke through their lines, something changed. They started fighting each other." The overseer was their unifying factor, Gray explained. Without clear leadership, they're reverting to type. Every pirate for themselves. As the tranquil dawn pulled away from the doomed asteroid base, Gray watched through the viewport as explosions tore through the structure. The gathered fleet of Luminari and human vessels moved to a safe distance, while the pirate ships scattered in all directions. "We won," Finn said quietly, standing beside him. "This battle," Gray agreed. "But the war just got more complicated. The Vex Consortium won't give up easily." Ambassador Trell approached, looking both exhausted and exhilarated. "The Council will be most interested in this intelligence and in the performance of our human allies." Gray turned to face him. "And what will you tell them, Ambassador?" Trell's antennae moved thoughtfully. "That we were wrong to fear you. That sometimes the predator you know is better than the one you don't." As the asteroid base exploded in a final brilliant flash behind them, the tranquil dawn set course for Lumina Prime. The unlikely alliance of peace-loving Luminari and battle-hardened humans had survived its first true test. And somewhere in the depths of space, the directors of the Vex Consortium received news of their operation's failure and began planning their next move against both species. But that would be another story.